Last week, we sat down with the on-site agent at Lakeside Glen, but this week, I'm taking you around the neighborhood to see what living here actually looks like. Hey y'all, I'm Jennifer Cornegie, your local real estate expert here in the Charlotte Metro, serving both North and South Carolina. Whether you're buying, selling, or just dreaming right now, this is the perfect place to start. From moving across town to relocating across the country, I've got you covered. Check out the description below and feel free to call, text, email, or schedule your strategy session today because I cannot wait to hear from you. And if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. In this video, we're zooming in on Lakeside Glen, and one of the biggest highlights is its incredible access to Allison Creek. I shared a glimpse of this last week, but today you're coming with me for a full drive-through. We're gonna start right here at the Allison Creek entrance, jump into my car, and make our way back to Lakeside Glen together so that you can see how quick and seamless that trip actually is. Then we're gonna hop out, tour the amenities, and take a closer look at what makes this neighborhood such a standout option. Okay guys, so I am right here at Allison Creek Park. I am about to pull out. It is 1:05. There is a car coming, so we're going to wait a second, and then I'm going to show you how quickly we jump right back over into Lakeside Glen. Okay, 1:05, let's go. Oh, wait, am I already putting on my blinker? What? Turning left. And we're in Lakeside Glen. I can't really show it, but there's the entrance right there, the monument. So it's still 1:05. That took no time at all. Okay, so I had to run an errand real quick, like in the middle of filming, and it brought me towards Lake Wylie. And one of the things we talked about last week in our video of Lakeside Glen was the fact that it is considered to be USDA, which means it's rural, and the government is trying to bring growth to the area. But Shay and I were mentioning how we are so conveniently located between Lake Wylie and Rock Hill. So while I'm in Lake Wylie, I'm going to drive around, show you that I'm currently at the intersection of 49 and 49. It's really weird how it works. But anyways, there's two main intersections here. I'm sitting in front of Walgreens right now. So I'm just going to drive around a little bit, show you the Walmart, all the things that it has to offer, and then I'm going to hop back over to Lakeside Glen. Okay, so we are leaving Walgreens, and I'm just going to show that we can come to the back of Walgreens. Conveniently located right here, you have a Wells Fargo Bank. Right down the road, we have Bank of America. And if we come this way, we have our Walmart. Circle down here. So again, we've got Wells Fargo here. We have McDonald's. And then straight ahead of us, we've got Lowe's. Now, I know in my household, my husband is very much a Lowe's fan, but I know for some guys, they are devoted to Home Depot. We do have a Home Depot, but not right here in Lake Wylie. It's going to be a little bit further into Charlotte. From right here to get to Home Depot, you're probably looking at about 15 to 20 minutes. And then wrapping around Lowe's, we come up to the Bank of America that I was mentioning. And then as we circle around at Bank of America, we come up to, I think it's called Kochi Express. It is a fast food style Japanese restaurant. You can get your hibachi chicken, that type of stuff. They do have a drive-through, but they also have indoor seating. Okay, so now as we're entering or exiting, this parking lot, if we were to turn right here, you would be going into the heart of Clover, okay? But I'm gonna turn back to the left so we continue to see what all it is that Lake Wylie has right here in the heart, because I do feel like that's where, if you choose Lakeside Glen, you're gonna be doing a lot of your shopping here in Lake Wylie. Okay, yes, it was Kochi Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi. So with going straight, this building here is vacant. It used to be a restaurant. Coming up on Valvoline, an instant oil change location. Past Valvoline, you can pull into Food Lion. So I think we'll circle in there real quick and show you what all's in that complex. I'm also curious to know, like, depending on where you're moving from, like, what are fast food restaurants that you have in your local market that you haven't seen us highlighting down here when we're mentioning different locations that you think you may miss or think that we need to get on it. So I just put into Food Lion. We've got Subway here, Best China, Pizza Hut. We have a tanning location, a nail salon. Food Lion has an adjoining liquor store, and then you've got convenient grocery shopping here. Then we're gonna come back out of this complex on the other side, which they are doing a little bit of road work, some construction moving around the actual entrance and exit to this parking lot. Just for point of reference, at this exit, we could turn right and we would be heading down to Lakeside Glen, but pulling out of here and going back to the left, we're going to be going back into, again, the heart of Lake Wylie. Now, my goal is to make it across this intersection, and then I'm going to stay straight at that red light and pull into the complex with Publix inside of it. So we can see it's literally across the street from Walmart. We can see all of the options within that shopping complex. Okay, so we made it. We are gonna head straight across. So if you turn right there, which we'll come out on that road in just a little bit, this road heads down towards actual like Charlotte, but you are still in Lake Wylie for a few miles. Now, just something to note about Lake Wylie: when you live here, you actually have a Clover address, and this is a huge debate for the locals. They really, some of them get frustrated whenever people are like, oh, I live in Lake Wylie, and they don't specifically say Clover. And for someone who didn't grow up here, I do feel like Lake Wylie and Clover are just about like two separate towns, even though they are connected. When I lived here in Lake Wylie for 6 years, I, of course, would write Clover as my address, but when I was giving somebody a point of reference, I would always say Lake Wylie, because we are miles from Charlotte here, whereas if we were to turn left at this intersection and go down towards Clover, you're talking another like 15-20 minutes away from Charlotte. And if I lived in Clover specifically, I feel like I'd be driving into Lake Wylie quite a bit for my everyday shopping. So I always did distinguish. We've got the Murphy gas station here on our right. And then, like I said, I'm gonna pull into Publix. Let's see. If we were to go straight there, that would take us towards Gastonia for just point of reference. But we've pulled into the Publix location. So we have a dentist office Here on our left, a Verizon satellite store, Panda Express, but this is the Chinese restaurant that my family and I always liked. Then we have Publix here. Gonna let these pedestrians walk on across. Now, one really cool thing about this complex is if you do like a lot of mailing, if you have a business, there is this AIM mail center down here. So instead of having to use, UPS or FedEx, any of those, you can come here, and they are always great to work with. There's a boutique here and a Great Clips. Then we are gonna cross over here a little bit, and we've got Papa John's, another nail place. I may be saying this wrong. It looks like Kuman is an academic enrichment program, so that's really cool. Pet Sense by Tractor Supply. When we're headed back towards Lakeside Glen, there is an actual Tractor Supply. Edward Jones, H&R Block, and then Lake Wylie Pharmacy. Then right across here, we've got Planet Fitness. Back in those buildings, back here, a hair salon that I go to, Revel is back there, super popular. And then we've got this Mexican restaurant here, which when we lived here in Lake Wylie, this was our favorite Mexican restaurant. And let's see, looks like another dentist office, Truist Bank, Auto Bell, some storage over here to the left. We've got Moe's that we're about to be passing, the UPS store, Sports Clips, another nail salon, Lee's Hoagies. So several different offices this way. We've got a chiropractic office, a builder, and then we have Caramount Health here to our right. I believe that is like an urgent care, so very convenient. We have Arby's up here. We did pass a Wendy's back there, forgot to mention that. And then when we come out of this parking lot, here at the stop sign, I'm gonna turn right, and then I'm gonna be at a red light. And if we were to continue straight across this red light, you have Starbucks and another little eatery over there, another urgent care option, another nail salon called Gloss Nails. We've got Lake Wylie Dentistry here to the right, Bank of York, a few more dentist locations, and then Bojangles. And then I'm just going to show you, like, if we continue driving this way, of course, we're going to pass like gas stations, a couple of different neighborhoods. You've got U-Haul, but I'm going to show you how close we are to being at the Bustard Boyd Bridge with Papa Doc's I mentioned in our last video, and the Bustard Boyd Bridge was the other location where you could put a boat in for free access, public access. At least the sky is pretty today. That is mostly what y'all's view is right now. Now, on the left up here, we have this location with that black sign coming up called Sweetwater. It's a sports bar and grill. Very good food there. An insurance office. We've got, we're going to pass by, so I'll show you on my left. Copper Premium Pub right here. So if you're in town, I would definitely suggest checking them out, or Sweetwater. But again, we're just going to keep driving straight and see how close we are to getting to Charlotte. Okay, so we've got going through this intersection here. Over on the left, local favorite is the bagel shop. They have breakfast and lunch sandwiches. They also serve ice cream. You've got Lake Wylie Pizza right here, an Italian little bistro. Circle K, QT. Back behind QT, you've got a church. You've got Bouncing House and Bowling Alley, and then also a restaurant called Cherries, which is a sushi and sit-down Japanese restaurant. And then literally, here we are at Papa Doc's. That bridge right there that everybody is about to cross is crossing into Charlotte, North Carolina. So you're then into North Carolina if that is going to be your commute. Just wanted you to see that. So we've got Papa Doc's here. They've got, good seafood, fun drinks, and we're gonna drive on down here and take a look at the Buster Boyd access area. Again, it says open to the public. Okay, now that I can slow down, I'm gonna let my window back down and we will circle through the area. So, of course, in the spring and summer, this parking lot gets pretty full. But it is nice that they have all this parking. And then coming up into here, you've got the access for the boats. There is a marina over there, that white large building. And they've got restrooms conveniently located. So yeah. Okay, we are driving back towards Lakeside Glen now, but I just wanted to show some items that I missed. So I had mentioned Starbucks right over here. We also have a Chipotle right there that just opened. Waffle House, a couple of gyms back there behind it. We've got Taco Bell, Dunkin' Donuts. Again, just want you guys to see, when I personally lived here in Lake Wylie, like I said, that was about for 6 years. It was very rare that, other than for work, that I ever really needed to leave this area for much of anything. So I am back at this intersection, 49, 274. I'm going to be turning left onto 274 and heading back towards Lakeside Glen. And then we will be passing by a YMCA, a Tractor Supply, and driving for just a few miles to get to Lakeside Glen. Okay, just for point of reference, when I turned onto 274, it was 12:46 p.m. here. It is now 12:54 and I am back at Lakeside Glen about to pull in. So what's that, 8 minutes that it took us to get from the heart of Lake Wylie into the rural section for Lakeside Glen. Okay, it's windy out here today. We are back in Lakeside Glen. The two model homes are right here behind me. Right across the street is the amenity center. So I'm gonna walk us over here, take a look, see what their pool has to offer. I can't remember if we said it last week, but this neighborhood does have community mailboxes. So you're not gonna have a mailbox in front of each individual home. So we can go take a look at that. But let's flip this camera around and I'm gonna show you the playground they have and the pool. Okay, so we've got this playground here, right beside what looks like to be a clubhouse or some type of facility. Now, obviously with the weather, the pool is closed, so they've got everything put up. But you can see it's actually a really good sized pool. So you've got this shallow area right here. And then looks like there's actually lanes in there. They have what appears to be like a handicap access, and then plenty of area for sunbathing. Then right over here are the community mailboxes. Okay, so while I'm here in the neighborhood, I'm actually at the rear view of some of the homes. They have their fenced in backyards already here. Some have chosen not to do a fence, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to show you the large back porches that Shay was talking about last week, which are truly amazing. I have not seen another builder do a porch like this. It is basically the entire back side of a home. And then the size of the yards. So let's do that. Okay, so you can see the home on the corner is still under construction. This home here has a shed in the back. Again, large covered back porch. And I just wanted you to get a feel for the size of the backyard. Now, of course, it's going to depend on the home site specifically, but usually builders try to be as consistent as possible. Okay, so I just got out of the cold. I'm so chilly. Those of you relocating here from like Ohio and New York, I don't want to hear it about we don't have winter. We do. It's just what our bodies are accustomed to, guys. But anyways, I am back in my car, and now we're just going to do a drive through the neighborhood itself. I want you to see how the homes are spaced. It is, again, going to depend on the floor plan that you choose and the actual home site itself. When a builder is building, they have what's called a buildable pad. And so if you choose, let's say, a single level home like a ranch where the majority of the square footage is downstairs, and that home has to be really wide and really deep, that is going to take up more of the buildable pad and put you possibly closer to your neighbor. If you do a 2-story home, they're going to be building that square footage up, so it gives you a little bit more room to have between you and your neighbor. So just a little point of view, but I'm gonna drive through the neighborhood. Shay mentioned last week that the plan is for there to be 425 homes, I believe. Right now, between what has sold, what's under construction, we're somewhere between like the 80 to 100 mark. So again, you're going to see some homes being constructed, some roads that look like they're about complete, and they'll just keep expanding over time. Okay, so we are up here at the actual model, so the entrance to the neighborhood. So you've got that road down there, and I'm going to loop through these so you can really get a good feel for it. But look at that backyard. Like, that is a really good size. I love the different colors in the neighborhood. So you've got your white home, blue home, gray home, delivery driver, those double porches or 2-story porches that Shay was talking about last week. Anytime you choose a corner lot, you are going to have more space, you know, on one side of you. But this shows you the spacing between these specific homes. I actually feel like some of these really do have ample spacing between them. You'll hear the joke in new construction sometimes where people are like, I don't want to be able to reach out and touch my neighbor. And even if both of you were reaching out, handing a cup of sugar, like, you wouldn't be able to touch. So there is good spacing. Now, of course, if this isn't your feel, by all means, I can help you with finding a home that is not in a neighborhood like this. But because this is a newer neighborhood and it is so popular here in York County, I wanted to highlight it. And last week we mostly interviewed Shay. Here, I want to cross it through here. Last week we, interviewed Shay, really got the highlights of the neighborhood, but this week I wanted to dig in so you could actually see it. Let's see. I'm gonna go this way. I love the architectural detail that they have done on the sides of the homes. If you Got those over there. These over here. And then we're gonna circle back up towards the model. I feel like you really get a good idea. Now here is a ranch or a single story home. So all the square footage is gonna be primarily downstairs. But even with that being said, earlier I mentioned like it uses up more of the buildable pad, but look how much distance is between those homes. That is really good for new construction. You do have some that are a little closer together. So that's where, if you decide that you want to be in a DRB neighborhood, whether it's this location or something else, you let myself know like the things that are important to you, and we make sure to communicate that to the on-site agent so that we can do our best, to accommodate as many of your needs. Oh, I will say this again, coming from new construction background, did it for 7 years. I absolutely love it. It is really cool for you as the buyer to be able to come in and, choose as many finishings as possible if you're doing a home from the ground up. However, there is no perfect scenario. Okay. We try to accommodate as much as possible, but even if you custom built on your own land, there are going to be little things that pop up here and there. So it is just something to be mindful. You have to have a little bit of a flowing type personality, I find is best when you're in these scenarios, because the builders are having to deal with local municipalities, the cities, the districts, telling them like, never mind, the grade doesn't work. We might have thought the garage was going to be on the right side of the home, and now we're going to make you flip it and it's on the left side of the home. That stuff truly is out of the builder's hands. So it's just something to be mindful of if you're considering new construction. But really, I think that gives you a good layout of what's here in Lakeside Glen, what is around Lakeside Glen. I'm going to put some videos at this part where I had to run to the store, and I showed highlighted like Lake Wylie itself, and hope you enjoy that tour. Okay guys, that's it for today's tour of Lakeside Glen. Again, we got to see around the neighborhood, Allison Creek, all the way into Lake Wylie and back. And I really hope that you enjoyed this tour. If you have any questions about this neighborhood specifically, please reach out to me. Again, licensed in North and South Carolina, and can help you in any DRB Homes neighborhood. Talk to you soon.